Hello, my family. So last night we got, which was Friday night. This is now Saturday evening, and last night we got down to 27 degrees. So each day we're going down further and further. Our temps in the days now are getting cold. Tomorrow we're looking at only about 45, maybe 39. So it is time, and I told you that Sunday was going to be my final day. Does this hurt? It does. I have to pull my crops. But spring's coming. You know, I can be so sad about losing this, and I could be aggravated to the fact is, oh, here we go, the weather's taking out my crops, and you know, I can't seem to win for losing. But honestly, my soil needs replenishing. So I will have, from the time I pull these crops on Sunday until I can put my spring seedlings into the ground again, for my ground to recuperate. I have very rich soil, and I could use this time off. Number two, if I play my cards right and I don't waste, I can actually enjoy some beautiful baby greens. And that's what I plan on doing. I can freeze my greens and use them. What I am fixing to do right now is I'm going to show you my baby kale. And I'm going to be turning around and using that for our supper tonight, which I think I've done a video before on this, but I'm going to be making a low carb version of zuppa Toscana, which is Olive Garden's ultimate favorite soup. But I can turn it low carb and be able to use the greens right from our own garden. So I'm not going to be wasting anything. I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to give God all the glory and the blessings because I can harvest something that we grew, and I'm not running to the grocery store because, well, I don't have greens. I do have greens, and I'm going to enjoy them. And I'm going to say thank you because I could not have anything. So why should I complain? Complaining to me anymore, I used to. And every time I complained, it made my matters feel so much worse. But here's the one major lesson through it all that I learned. No matter how much I complained, no matter how much I cried, no matter how angry I got, the situation at hand never changed. It just never changed. So I have to look at it. What am I doing? I'm wasting energy. You know, I'm getting mad for no reason. I'm taking away my joy, and it's nobody's fault. You know, I can't blame it on the enemy because personally it's me. I made the choice to be this way. So I have to say thank you instead. I have so much to be thankful for. So I'm changing my way of attitude. 2024 is a new attitude, and I'm going to enjoy this. So let's go pick all of our baby greens. Because see, in a couple weeks, I'm fixing to do some more seedlings, y'all, and we're going to have fresh, bountiful of seedling or baby greens, some kale and some Swiss chard, and probably some more turnip greens. And I'm going to have so many more opportunities to have greens. So why cry? Let's go to picking. So this is the baby greens that we are looking at using. Now there isn't a whole lot in here, but there's enough that I can pick them and then maybe add them with some spinach to the soup. It's going to be a nice cool evening for soup, so I'm blessed. I mean, I have fresh, y'all, fresh greens, and I don't have to worry about, they're organic, for Pete's sakes. This is amazing. So I'm going to go through here and pick them by the root, yes. And I'm going to actually take the roots off, just like so. And I'll probably compost this. This way I'm having nothing but the greens. Or actually, I can chop and drop right back into this bed. Just take them off. Break the roots off. Drop them back into the bed and take my greens into the basket. Like I said, it's a small bunch, but hey, every small thing counts. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and once I get this done, we'll go back to the kitchen. Okay, y'all, so I even pulled out all the weeds in here. It's going to break down in there. I got my basket full of fresh greens. We're going to put this in our soup and we're going to absolutely enjoy this. So let me go ahead and show you what we're fixing to pick also for Sunday. And instead of canning these, I don't think I'm going to have enough because they are babies like this kale is, but to can them, but I know that I can absolutely freeze them. So let me show you what we have going on with those and how much of this we're going to actually pick. I told you all we were going to, I'm taking you out here to show you the good, the bad, the ugly on the whole thing on homesteading. Sometimes you can have something just this beautiful and it won't have a chance to fully grow. It's okay. Believe it or not, I've already had 2 pickings out of this. This will be my 3rd. So can I absolutely complain? No. Now it goes all the way across that bed and some portions of that right down here. Baby greens or not, this is going to be extremely healthy and nutritious, and it's been picked organically from our own garden. This is one spot. And right over there in that patch there is our 2nd spot. Now look, I want you all to see something. First, hubby turned around and redid my bed that was blown out that I showed you. And look at that rich soil we have here. That explains why my greens are so beautiful. And then we have another small patch right there in that section. That's all the greens we have left. That's the only thing left and growing for this season. So I'm not going to complain, y'all. I'm going to take my greens. I'm going to enjoy them. And we're going to be ready for this next season. I'm excited too. I've got a huge pack that I am going to do a seed haul. Once I get my seeds ordered, I'm going to be doing a seed haul video with y'all too. I will show you one other thing we have growing, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. This sadly pitiful line is our sugar snap peas. I don't think this is going to make it, honestly. And I'm probably going to end up taking these, and when I get our raised beds and we fill them up with our wood and everything, I'm going to take this green matter in the bottom of our beds and we're just going to toss this in too. These greens have been trying to make it, but our temperatures have been so odd. And honestly, let me turn this around. Okay, honestly, this is when I can honestly say, I mean, I've got my greens, but if the weather is uncooperative, how can I change it? Will my attitude make any difference? Can it make my plants grow? Will it make the temperatures change at all? Or should I just go ahead, be mad, rip them out, say I'm done, I give up, and I'm just not going to do this anymore? See, I've been there. I have done that before. And you know, I sat down with myself and said, self, who are you? Who do you belong to? And what are you doing? Does it change anything? No. Who am I? I'm a child of God. Am I telling God that everything He's doing or that this universe that I live in is not to my standards, so it's not correct, it's not right, and it should be my way or no way? Life don't work that way. So I'm going to take every opportunity. I learn from it. But then I also learned this. You could do everything right, and the weather will change. You can't fix that. There are certain things out of our control, and this is one of them. So I will say that we grew some pretty plants. Honestly, we grew some nice thick stems, and it was amazing. We just didn't get a chance for them to produce. They even started flowering, honestly, but the weather flipped on us, and that happened, y'all. Normally here in the deep south of Mississippi, we do not see 7-degree temperatures, but we are going to. And that one time we did, I think it was last year, I had one night of 7-degree, and I did the hoop house covering, I did it all, but it did not stop everything from completely freezing out. So, you know, I learned last year that there's no sense trying to save it because it's going to go. I can repurpose it though. And see, that's where I need to think, what can I do with this? so I can repurpose this, use this for food for my future plants. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm hoping this helps somebody, because sometimes we get so frustrated in our homesteading life. We could be so angry because of circumstances that wipes us out, that we just want to just say, I just chuck it all, I'm done. But I'm not. Instead, I'm going to change my way of thinking. I'm not stressed this way. I really have peace of mind knowing that, okay, so it didn't work. I can go and get $2 pack of seeds and start all over again. And if worse comes to worse, there is a Dollar General or a Dollar Tree, and I can try with $1.25 pack of seeds. I'm not going to give up. I'm just going to enjoy the journey. And you know, I had a bountiful last year. I had beautiful tomatoes, the jars of tomato sauce that I'm enjoying, and fire roasted tomatoes that taste so good. When I open a can versus my home canned, I can definitely taste the difference. It's a change of attitude. That's my goal for this year. I'm changing my attitude, because nothing around me is going to make a difference. It's not going to change what's going to happen. What's going to happen is going to happen, and I can't do nothing about it. So let's have some fun with it. We're going in the kitchen now, and we're going to make some low carb zuppa Toscana with some fresh baby greens, kale, and then I have some spinach that I'll probably add with it. Come Sunday, I'm going to take you in the journey with me. We're going to gather all of these greens. The chicken house back here, we're going to shut off the door, and right here where I'm standing is where our pheasant house is. I'll turn you that way. And we're going to actually take the outside of this pheasant house, and we're going to protect them all the way around against the cold elements for 7-degree temps. None of these babies, and I'm going to turn you back this way, absolutely none of our farm animals are getting heat lamps. We're not doing that, y'all. We're not going the extra measure. I don't want to change their elements any more than I have to. These chickens have lived last year through that 70-degree temp, and all I did was very little, but was enough to protect them, and that's it. Once those temps are done, this all gets ripped back down. I don't do excessive amount for my farm. And so, you know, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not that person that's going to put heat lamps and alter my natural ability to my poultry. I'm not that person. So let's go to the kitchen. Into the sink with our baby greens. We're going to let these soak and clean while we go ahead and start with the rest of our soup. So let's move on to the next step. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to actually start out with using or cutting up some Italian sausage. This is a mild one. You can use whatever flavor you want. So I'm just going to cut these in bite-sized pieces right now. And actually, I can choose to even make this even better. Honestly, just kind of cut it like that so I'm not mutilating my sausage. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting up all of these, and then I'm actually going to fry these up. Once I fry these up, I'm going to set them aside, and I will come back the next step to working with our soup. So remember, zuppa Toscana, y'all, and it's going to be low carb on top of it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm not sure if I did this once before, but it's several videos back, so I'm sure some of you would love to have something warm, hearty, and not so much full of carbs either. So, and if you do, you can add your carbs, y'all. I'm going to tell you both ways to do this. How we're going to make this low carb is actually I'm going to be using turnips instead of potatoes in my soup. So that's the only thing I'm going to be changing. So if you want to make it with your carbs, just add any type of potatoes in your soup instead of the turnips, and you have zuppa Toscana. Everything else is going to be the same. There's not much of a difference. I'm going to go ahead and put these here. I'll go wash my hands, and I will be back, and I'm waiting for my pan to heat up. So we'll be right back. All right, y'all, my pan is hot enough now. I'm just going to go ahead and add my sausage. We're just going to cook these up, and then once they're cooked up, we're going to set them aside. Just like so. And we'll do this in segments. So once I get this done, we'll have the rest of our ingredients to throw together, and then we're going to put a lid on this and let it simmer until supper time. So I'm basically going to do this video as far as showing you how to prepare this, and I don't know if I'll do an after on the meal or not, but we'll see what happens, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I will be right back. Okay, y'all, so now's the time. I have my sausage already cooked, so I'm going to pull this out aside. Now, it's not completely cooked, but it's going to simmer in this soup anyways. So I'm going to pull all of this out. I am also going to now go ahead and prepare the rest of my ingredients, such as heavy cream. We're going to have some turnips. We're going to use home canned chicken stock. And I'm going to use some onions. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together. I'm probably going to drain out some of this oil in here because I really don't want that. Now, one thing I am going to eliminate in this soup is bacon. I think I have enough proteins with fat. I don't need to add extra fat to this. If you want to, it does call for 5 to 7 slices of bacon that you can crumble in this soup. I'm just going to eliminate it. So I'm going to go ahead and strain this. I'm going to get the rest of our ingredients prepped, and then we will go ahead and finish this soup for simmering. Alright, y'all, so now I have everything ready for our next step. We did our sausage, set that aside. Now we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. This is when it's going to come to a simmer afterwards. I am looking currently for a spatula. Here we go. So now I am going to be adding our garlic. This is minced garlic, and I needed about, let's see, go back here, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic minced. I actually have 2. One was a really big one, so it equaled out to a portion of 3. I'm just going to bring this through, saute it just to release the aroma. Now that I can smell my garlic, I'm also going to be adding a half of a large onion chopped into our soup. Get this releasing its aroma and nice and flavorful. Like I said, this is going to cook down. I'm just going to lightly saute this until it gets like a golden color, translucent in the onions. I'm going to keep stirring not to burn my garlic. If you burn garlic, it makes it bitter and it does not taste very well. So we're just going to go ahead and do this. We're almost ready to add our chicken broth now. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in our red pepper flakes. We need about 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes. I'm not going to add that much to it. So I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon because I don't like it super spicy. Mix this all up. Now, at this point, I am going to be adding, it says here to add 28 ounces of chicken broth. I'm actually going to be adding 2 pints of our home canned stocked chicken broth, chicken stock that was homemade. To me, it's better flavored. It's also more healthier, and I didn't have to go to the grocery store to get it. I shopped in our own pantry. So now I'm going to go ahead and open these jars, and we're going to add this to our stock, or our soup. And there's one. And now the second one. I don't use these lids over again. They get a one-time deal. I used to use butter knives to, hang on y'all, I'll be right back. Sorry y'all, we had to take care of my daughter-in-law's timer. So anyways, we are back here to the stocks, and as I was saying, I used to use a butter knife to open up my jars. That became too dangerous, and I was taking a risk of busting my jars. So I actually use a bottle opener, and it does pierce the lid, but I don't use it a second time around anyways. So in a lot of my videos, you'll probably see me opening my jars with that device. So now we have our soup in here. It calls now for 1 quart of water to add to this also. So I'm going to go ahead and add a quart of water. And I don't have to use the entire quart. I'm probably going to use a half, which would be a pint. So, because I like it more rich flavors. And I'm not looking, I'm actually using a full recipe here. So, and the Italian sausage that's used in this is actually 1 pound of Italian sausage. So I have everything I'm getting ready to do this with. Now I'm going to also be using our chopped turnips. Now in the recipe it calls for 5 medium russet potatoes. I actually used 4 small medium-sized turnips, and I'm going to add that to our soup. That is the replacement for our potatoes. And I have one, I see that, no, it's actually, did it get cut too small? Yeah, it didn't go all the way through, that's it. So these are bite-sized, just like I would a potato, and I'm going to let these cook. That one didn't go all the way through either. Huh. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage so we can put that flavor back into our soup. And we're going to let this simmer now. We want our potatoes, or our turnips, to get tender. We're going to let our soup marry in flavors. I'm also going to add right now some salt and pepper to taste. And toward the end of this, I am going to be adding our baby kale. And then the last part will be adding our heavy whipping cream. And at that point, we will be ready to serve. So I'm just going to put a lid over this, and I'm going to let it simmer. And once my potatoes are softened enough, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. So we will be back as soon as this is softened. Okay, y'all, so our soup is simmered, our turnips are tender, and I am now going to add our baby kale. And this turned out to be the perfect amount of kale for this soup. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect setting. It was absolutely spot on. The recipe calls for about 2 cups of kale. And that's exactly what we have, but ours is baby, so it's awful tender. I didn't have to really break it up much. This was amazing. Like I said, blessings. Who can turn that away? So now I'm going to bring this in here. Then it to be organic and homegrown on top of that. Oh my goodness, y'all. Also calls for 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. So I am going to stir this up a little bit, and I am going to bring this to my soup and stir this in. And that's it. I did cut the fat down some. You could cut the fat down even more by using a turkey Italian sausage. If I had found that, I would have absolutely used that instead. I cut down the fat by eliminating the bacon. I cut down the carbs by eliminating the potatoes and turning it into turnips. And I have an amazing soup for a very cold, chilly night tonight. And that's it, y'all. As you can see, and I'm going to give you a close-up shot of our soup, but this is our version, low carb, lower fat, zuppa Toscana. And let me give you a close-up shot. And there we are, my family. A beautiful soup, and this is making my mouth drool. I'm telling you, soup is perfect for a cold day. And that's going to conclude this video, y'all. So Monday, we're looking at about 7 degrees. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to continue on with the pantry challenge, and we're going to make a chicken soup. Now, I could choose to take a turkey breast, which I have in my freezer, put it in my oven and use that. But instead, I'm going to my pantry. I have jars of chicken chunks in there, and I am going to be making chicken agavamono, which is the lemon Mediterranean chicken soup. Instead of adding chicken noodle and all that, I'm just going to make chicken lemon soup and probably some grilled cheese. So we're still staying with the pantry. I still have my chicken broth, and when I start running out of broth, that's when I'm going to bring out my turkey breast, roast it, and I'm going to keep the bones, and I'm going to make some more chicken stock, so it keeps me going for as long as I can, and it will end up being flavorful and healthy. So it'll keep us from fighting off all those things that come around every winter, like cold and flu. So I love you all. Until next time, we will have another video tomorrow as I show you how we're going to prepare our small little homestead for that 7-degree temp that we dread. So I love you. We'll see you again. Hope you enjoyed this soup. The recipe will be in the description box below for you. As always, I always include a recipe. So much love, hugs, good night, and we'll see you again from Parton's Heritage Homestead.